Yes, good morning to all my fellow Americans here once again. My name is Eduardo Rodriguez from Puerto Rico. Um, just in case the signal goes off, remember always to go into my blog where all the news is posted. I pledge allegiance to the flag, which is my blog. Uh, Always requesting the freedom of Roger Stones, an innocent man who by the extreme left, the communists who have infiltrated the Democrat Party, which is no longer exists, which is now the CPUSA, their determination is to censor and ban our First Amendment. And that's what they did with Roger Stone. His only crime was to denounce corruption and the treasonous actions of the Democrat Party, of the Democrat leaders. The number to call 202-456-1414. Let's flood that telephone number and request the freedom of this patriot. He's a patriot. He's not a guilty man. No, he's a criminal. He's a patriot, a true patriot. Should be freed now, today, not tomorrow, but today. There's a lot of things going on. This morning I went to Sam's here in the island where I live, in the island of Puerto Rico. And there was a line all the way around the parking lot, and it went all the way up to the entrance to get in to the area of Sam's Club. Incredible. We should stop. There's a way of stopping this. There's no reason to stop the economy. There's no reason. People are starting to wake up because they're using masks and gloves. There you go. Force people to use masks and gloves. If they're going to go in, you can't go in, or you don't have a mask on, you can't get in. And they did in one of the stores I went to. I went to a grocery store, which is called Mr. Special. And they used the machine to check out my front here to check the temperature, make sure I was free from the virus. I checked out okay, but I went with my mask and I went with my gloves. And they're not gloves, not elastic, those type that break up. No, I got real good gloves that are reusable. Plus, I use sanitizer. Well, everything I touch, when I get back to my vehicle, I sanitize my gloves. When I get home, I take them off. Even my mask, I take it off, which is reusable and breathable. There's some ways of doing things. There's no reason for this to happen. People should be forced, if you have asthma, you can't breathe with the regular mask, buy yourself a reusable, breathable mask. That's all you have to do. If you can spend on alcohol, if you can spend on throwing your money away and other things unnecessarily, which I've seen people do, buy the mask or get a MasterCard, one of these cards or Walmart cards, and order it on Amazon. Order the mask and order the gloves, or buy it in Home Depot. They got good gloves there. They're called Husky. That's the type I got. Or you can order leather gloves or even better gloves, which I plan to do. If I can get leather gloves, which last longer, I'll get them. And I'll use them. Every time I go I use them and wipe it up with sanitizer. That's all you got to do. And use a good breathable mask. Invest in a mask. Even the most poorest can do it. You can do it. You can get a credit on one of these masks, which may cost like $36. Hey, it's your life. And if you want to work, there's no reason to shut down the economy. That should be over. They should be done with that. To me, that's kind of stupid. That's really stupid. Who's going to produce? Who's going to produce the soap we make? Who's going to produce the toilet paper we make? Who's going to produce the food we eat? How about the agriculture, the farmers? Are we going to stop them from feeding the world, from feeding the United States, from feeding American people? from producing? Are we going to stop the pharmaceuticals from producing medication which are needed for to help people with diabetes and other ailments, or gouts, or chronic asthma, or for the virus? In that case, are we're gonna stop? We're going to cause more death, and we got to put a stop to the hoarding of people who want to hurt America, like this Chinese woman who bought a whole bunch of masks. She did it on purpose just to hurt the American people. All the masks, she should be arrested. All her account closed, her account, her banking account closed. Everything, all those masks she got confiscated and distributed for sale in a cheap manner. We could gain money out of that. And without any rights, hey, the hell with you. And the lawyer that defends her, you go with her to China, period. You want to defend her, you're going to defend her from China. We have to stop this crap. That's what's hurting America. You know, these lawyers, these liberal lawyers who want to take advantage, and they want to enrich themselves and take advantage of our laws and break them. So this Chinese woman, you know, she should not only be arrested, she should be deported. Oh, in her own pocket. And if she doesn't have any money, no problem. We'll put you on the first cargo ship, and you're going to go below decks. You're going to sleep on the floor. Whatever you can find, a crate, sleep on top of a crate, a wood crate. And in the morning, so she can shower, whatever, or whatever she craps on the deck. You know, take a fire hose and hey, the hell with them. Now you're gonna go back like that with the clothes you got on. You go back to your China, to your communism, the system you love. See how you like it. We have to put a stop to all this. We have to put a stop to these Muslim terrorists. This criminal organization. It's a criminal organization. Don't you realize it? We have people here who want to kill us and murder us en masse. And then you got these Democrats who are just as evil, just as evil. Well, not because they're just as evil, they turn communists. And the communists, they embrace with terrorism because they're terrorists. Look how they destroyed Venezuela. Look how they destroyed Cuba. Look how they destroyed North Korea. China had to open the free market, even though they got the communist oppression, and it's brutal. Why? Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work anywhere. And these people are just so damn evil that that's what they want to impose, even on you. So you better wake up, or it's going to get worse. We have to support Trump. You got people blaming even the coronavirus on Trump. Can you believe this? You got this one guy, I think it's Scott Stringer, if I'm not mistaken, a controller. I don't know if it's a train controller or what transportation. I'll read it in a couple of minutes. The guy is blaming the blood of his mother on Trump's hands. Can you believe this? Hey, Scott Stringer, stop being stupid, extremely stupid and dumb. Or if you're a communist, or if you're a Democrat, you know, blame it on the Democrats and blame it on the Chinese. First of all, the Chinese, and then on the Democrat for permitting it. Stop playing dumb. These people are evil, and they want to play with our president. They want to play with our president's reputation. They want to ruin it. And it's not his fault. It's the fault of the Chinese. Or probably even his fault of Scott Stringer, because I saw him without a mask. Maybe he's the one who stuck it to his mother, that virus. Talking about the virus. Maybe he spread it on her. Maybe he's the one who has the blood of his mother in his hands, not Donald Trump. Because I saw all of the controller and all the rest of his buddies surrounding him without masks and without gloves. So they're the ones, probably the murderers. The murderers of your mother, Stringer, is probably between that group that you gathered together. So you better be careful. Maybe they spread it on your ass. Oh, God. They're stupid people. They're stupid, evil people. Stupid, evil people. You just can't see. They just can't see what the president had done, trying to do, as hard as he working, loving this country, and they still want to put all the blame on him, even though none of it is on him. It's on the Chinese and the Democrats. I mean the CPUSA, excuse me. Sorry for saying the Democrat, because it's no longer the Democrat Party. It's now the CPUSA. Used to be the Democrat Party. The Communist Party, the United States of America. Now let me go to the news. I already did this one. And we have to free Roger Stone. There's no reason why he should be in prison. Who should be in prison in his place is the CPUSA. Pelosi, which is composed of Pelosi, Adam Schiff, Nadler, almost the whole DNC, Chuck Schumer, almost the whole DNC should be in prison. Almost the whole DNC. Joe Biden, maybe the courts could probably forgive him because he doesn't even know where he's at anymore. Let's go to the religion of peace. Nigeria, this is from Nigeria. Muslim hack to death 50 Christians and 10 more in first 2 days of April. This is who the liberals want to call our buddies, our partners, the religion of peace. No, the religion of peace. But then when they go over there, they come back without a head. I wish they all went over there. Oh, no, not a bad idea. Open the door. Hey, you want to go over there? We'll send you over there. No problem. No, we won't send you, but you can go. No problem. Because the less that come back without a head, what the hell? We don't have to worry then. The Muslims are doing the work for us. We don't have to worry about liberals destroying this country, because they'll solve the problem for us. Deal with stupid people. Then I'm the one who might get censored here for saying the truth, because it offends them. It offends the community standards. It goes far away from the community standards. Can you believe that? And I'm trying to go with all the videos, because the videos speak a lot. Well, let me just read this one. Home Depot co-founder, Congress should have been, look at this, the co-founder of Home Depot, a true patriot. Congress should have been investigated the pandemic, not impeaching Trump. Isn't that true? But since the Democrats have proven to be the enemy of this country, they're not doing that. They don't care. They just care about killing, murdering in mass innocent babies. Or like Bernie Sanders and another extreme communists embracing terrorists, like Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito. I used to admire, find him funny. I don't find him funny anymore. I think he's a plague. Susan Rice. We'll talk about Susan Rice. She talks about Trump being utterly incompetent. But Obama, or Bobby Soetoro, alias Barack Hussein Obama, Bobby Soetoro wasn't incompetent, wasn't a criminal, wasn't a traitor, didn't sell us off, didn't give billions of dollars to our sworn enemies who want us dead and destroyed. He wasn't incompetent to Susan Rice. That's how criminal-minded these people are. These people are our true enemies. They are the criminal of the United States of America. They should they shouldn't even exist as a party. The communist has taken over that party. So they shouldn't exist anymore. We should seek another alternative, which should be the Tea Party. Never go again, vote Democrat. The hell with the Democrat Party. Let them go to communist North Korea. They want to impose their will. Go to communist North Korea. See how they'll like it there. And permanently, without any benefit and any rights to return it back. You have no right. I don't care how many times you were born here. China flooding Facebook with ads blaming Trump for Chinese virus. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? China blaming it on Trump, our president, our beloved president. They were responsible for it. No, the communists, they always do the same thing. It's just like Nicolas Maduro or the Castro regime. They blame everything on Trump. They destroyed the country. No, it's Trump's fault. Their wife cheated on them. It's Trump's fault. The car broke down. It's Trump's fault. Their wife left them. It's Trump's fault. There's no food on the table. It's Trump's fault. The economy they destroyed the economy. It's Trump's fault. It's terrible. There's no bean. There's no rice. There's no beans. There's no gasoline. There's no lights. There's no water. There's no drinking water. There's nothing. It's Trump's fault. That's what all the communist. Pelosi is an example, great example. Everything good. She turns it around and blames it on Trump or distort the situation and makes it look like Trump is an evil person. Just like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders has had the gall to call our beloved president the most evil president in history. A communist said that Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, excuse me. Bernie Sanders, can you believe that? A man who promotes a precept that has caused the death of over 100 million people, according to what I've seen in other numbers. It's been up to 150 or over 150 million, but let's go to 100 million. So maybe I may be exaggerated. Maybe the numbers are exaggerated, but that's the score of the numbers. More, let's say for sure is over 100 million, and they've been in power for these wherever they are established for a little over 100 years, because we're not including the 200,000 millions of those who have died under Islam, another precept from hell. And nobody mentioned that one, and they don't want us to speak about that because it's a religious peace, excuse me. And if we do say it, we're banned from Facebook, we're banned from YouTube, from Google's, permanently, or for a long while, we're banned. So let's or censored for any reason. They don't like what we're saying, even though it's the truth. Even though it's the truth. They wanna censor us. I'm gonna try to go to I want to go to this one. There's already a video here I want to see. Oh, okay. Mark Dice, one of the best. Short, to the point, and humorous.
Priorities and begin focusing on what really matters. And what matters most right now is that the celebrities are safe. NBC News is reporting that Tom Hanks and his wife are back in the United States after recovering from the coronavirus in Australia. I know I speak for all of us when I say that despite the looming economic depression that we may be facing, I sure will be able to sleep better at night knowing that Tom Hanks made it back home safe. So far, I haven't seen any other celebrities who have been tested positive because they never leave their mansions and venture out into the public anyway. And since celebrities always know what's best, CNN decided to interview actor Sean Penn about what needs to be done in this crisis. I know sometimes I put fake lower thirds over CNN clips as a joke, but this one is real. Sean Penn on what needs to be done in the crisis. Speaking of washed up celebrities, or in this case, a never was, Kathy Griffin posted a selfie on social media showing that she was in the hospital concerned that she had the coronavirus. She didn't have the symptoms, so they wouldn't give her the test, and of course she blames President Trump. They later released her after diagnosing her with a stomach infection, possibly from eating her own poop, as dogs are sometimes known to do. And speaking of coronavirus attention seekers, Fredo, who has been tested positive, continues to do a show live from his wife's basement. His suits are all rentals and kept at the CNN studio, so instead he's just wearing his jammies. Aside from wasting an hour of CNN's airtime every night talking about himself and how tough he is for continuing to do his show despite being infected, now he's wasting the entire country's time. Every day, Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, holds a press conference to give an update on the situation in New York City, one of the most hardest hit areas in the country due to the population density. But now they're taking the Cuomo Brothers Comedy Hour on the road, and Andrew had Fredo Skype into the press conference.
I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. This is very tough. I get it now. I've now become part of this group of people who have this virus, and they're reaching out to their friends and people who are new friends. You came to me in a dream. You had on a very interesting ballet outfit, and you were dancing in the dream, and you were waving a wand and saying,
What
I
a
wish
piece
I
of
could
work.
wave my wand and make this go away. And then you spun around and you danced away.
Well, that's there's a lot of metaphoric reality now.
What a dummy, the way he treated his brother. Well, they're both just as bad.
Kind of you. Obviously,
Dummies.
obviously the fever has affected your mental capacity.
Everything alone all the time. I think everything I say is wrong.
It's communism.
This is
Communism.
not Fredo's little show, by the way, on CNN. This was a nationally broadcasted press conference on most of the major networks. Look at this. Poor Fox News aired what they thought would be an important press conference, only to have Fredo Skype in and start yucking it up with his brother. Of course, Fredo knew this would be good publicity for his show, so he made sure to wear his Cuomo primetime hats for the interview. In other news, after several weeks of having their hosts film their shows on their phone or their iPad, the big studios finally figured out how to set up a camera and some lights at their homes. For a while there, they were only posting their videos on their YouTube channels, but now that the production quality is actually somewhat decent, they're airing these homemade shows on television. Well, that is everyone except for Seth Meyers, who's still recording his show on what looks to be a webcam from 1998. The producers finally did buy him an external microphone from Amazon, and he is wearing it, but Seth is still too dumb to know that you have to go into the Skype settings and select the external microphone as the audio input. Otherwise, it's going to use the default setting of the mic and the webcam, which sounds like crap.
Hey everyone, I am back and I'm joined by my dear friend and HG band leader, Fred Armisen. Hi Fred, how are you, buddy?
Pretty good, man. As you can see, I'm using a webcam from the 90s too. Joe Biden, whose grandson is probably helping him produce his videos at home, is literally making better quality videos than NBC's Seth Meyers. If there is a silver lining to this whole pandemic, it's that BuzzFeed had to cut their staff's pay by 25%. CNN reports that 2020 was supposed to be a banner year for digital media. BuzzFeed, Group 9, and Vice each indicated that this year they would be profitable, a long, elusive goal for an industry bedeviled by diminishing ad dollars. But no one could have predicted that a global health crisis would hit just as business was picking up. Hundreds of journalists are being laid off, CNN says, right when the public needs them the most. Yeah, that's what we need right now. This is probably the best news that I've heard in the last few weeks. It might not be too late to save America after all. If you're a fan of my form of journalism and want to support my channel and signal to others who do too, head on over to my online store, markdice.com, or click the link in the description below and get one of my awesome shirts. You've seen them at Trump rallies and you've seen them on television because they are quite popular. So if you want to see one on yourself, head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.
He's one of the best. One of my best. Besides News Network is another great source of information, conservative information. You got Laura Ingraham. What happened is that they're pretty long, you know. I usually try to do the ones that are short, go to the point and quick, so I won't bore people here in my videos. And plus, you got Dan Bongino, it's another great source. What happened is, the last maybe an hour, a little bit more than an hour, but he's great, one of the best. I always put down first when I go in the morning to hear news, or late in the afternoon when when his news come up for the next day. I try to listen before the next day, and you know, inform myself. He's one of the best. Dan Bongino, you're one of the best, if not the best. Then you got then I listen to Laura Ingraham, which is also great. Among the best, this is the one I'm mentioning. Alex Jones, another one. But his lasts too long, sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours. But he's great. His abundance of information and warnings against what's happening are great. It's a great source. Alex Jones, you're also one of the great. So let me go to the next one. There's a lot of news, a lot of videos. Remember, if I can, I'm not going to put them all down. I'm going to try to go to the most shortest one. Go to my blog, putting down Eduardo Rodriguez, I pledge allegiance to the flag, and you can see them all. We all know the purpose of Nancy Pelosi's. I don't have to put this video. All of us know her purpose, her determination. And those who don't know is because they're just as dumb or just as evil as she is. Or they're drunk or something, you know. Something's the matter with anybody who doesn't want to realize what Pelosi is all about. And Bernie Sanders. But I want to put Bernie Sanders because this one, let me put Bernie Sanders because this is very interesting. Bernie Sanders regrets going on The View after host press him on free. You know, I like it when they, you know, at least the View, the only thing I can say good about The View, only thing, is they probably woke up and realized what communism is all about or what this communist is. So, you know, they interview him really harshly because, hey, how are you going to pay for all that stuff? Whose pocket is going to come out of? You know, we know the intentions of we just have to look at Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, North Korea, what used to be the ex-Soviet Union on the Joseph Stalin, and China, the Great Revolution, where millions of people died, I think over 60 million people, due to Mao Zedong's Chinese Revolution, the Great Revolution, where people were killed. Or you have to see the movie on the killing fields in Cambodia. That's all you have to do. Just look at that, and you're going to realize what the mind of this evil entity is. We'll see all about it. Okay, let's put the video here. I want you to see it. It doesn't land long.
Bernie Sanders regrets going on The View after
From Next News Network.
on free healthcare concerns. Welcome back to the Next News Network. My name is Elijah. Please subscribe by clicking below, turning on the bell, and check news reports.
Before we continue, has the coronavirus shaken your financial stability? Noble Gold can help sort out your choices and get you back on track just like they have for hundreds of families. Create your financial safety net by calling 877-646-5347 or hit the link below to get the free investment guide. The website, noblegoldinvestments.com. Visit today. Now back to the news.
Sam Dorman from Fox News reports The View guest co-host Sarah Haynes challenged Senator Bernie Sanders on Wednesday, asking him about
This guy is a hardcore lying communist.
During the CV crisis. Just to push back on that a little bit, Haynes replied, people in countries with universal health care routinely have to wait longer and sometimes die.
Who used to be a bum.
Medical treatments. She added that the CV was
And
not
still
something
is.
people can wait on health care for. Sanders said he didn't accept the basic premise of Haynes' argument. Take a look.
You say that the coronavirus crisis proves that our for-profit healthcare system is a failure. Can you explain why your Medicare for All plan would work better in this kind of scenario?
But right now, there is for two reasons. Number one, there is growing anxiety in this country.
Answer the question.
People are increasingly unable to afford health care or that they may not have any health care at all. Right the epidemic.
Are you gonna pay for all of it?
People uninsured or underinsured, and now, when millions of people are losing their jobs, they're losing their health care. What do? We have the absurd situation that the recent stimulus bill covered you for the cost of the testing that you may need for the coronavirus. It did not cover the treatment. So you've lost your job, you may not have any income, and now you're worried about health care. What Medicare for all does,
Yeah, like in Cuba, where there's no medication,
with every other major country,
or the hospitals are destroyed.
it guarantees health care.
Yeah, like Cuba and Venezuela. People die because there's no medicine.
You lose your job, you got coverage. You're a small business person, you got coverage. No deductibles, no copay.
Yeah, like in Cuba and Venezuela.
Functionality.
Mention that one.
How does it happen? I want everybody to think about this. We are spending twice as much per person as any other people on earth
Not
for
in best.
healthcare, and yet we don't have enough ventilators. Our doctors don't have enough masks, or gloves, or gowns. That doesn't sound like a strong public health.
Why don't you go to Miami and tell that to the Cuban exile and Venezuelan exile?
Sarah, this is Sarah. Just to push back on that a little bit, countries with universal healthcare routinely have to wait longer and sometimes die before receiving many of
There
the
you go.
treatments. Right now,
There you
if
go.
can't afford it to wait because Corona isn't. They're having this. It's not something you can wait on healthcare for. So
If this
what
guy's an
would
evil
your
genius, he's gonna come up
counterview
with
that would
something.
be beneficial right now?
Well, Sarah, I mean, the truth is that there are long waiting lines before coronavirus. There were long waiting lines
Where?
in treatment of people who need health care.
Where?
The truth is that in our country, there are, in many instances, other countries for normal procedures get health care a lot more rapidly than we do in this
Yeah,
country.
like in Cuba, where there's no medication.
Right now, in
What
rural
Cu-
areas, for example,
Oh,
we don't
Venezuela.
have the kind of doctors we should, where hospitals are being closed down. We are paying far more for prescription drugs than other people in any other country.
Lying communists.
10 times more because we don't negotiate prices for prescription drugs. So I don't accept the basic premise of your argument. I think the truth is that in Canada and other countries around the world, their healthcare systems are far more popular than our system is because the function of our system, to be honest,
Yeah, because they're not
is to make
communists.
billions of dollars in profits for the
Speak
insurance
about
companies
Cuba and Venezuela as
the
an
insurance
example.
companies, not to provide quality care to all people.
Sanders had touted his plan as a way to maintain health insurance coverage for people who lost their jobs during the ongoing crisis. He added that the U.S. faced a shortage of supplies despite relatively high per capita spending on health care overall. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Have a great rest of the day, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing off.
I hope you enjoyed that last report. Before this crisis happened, Noble Gold have been helping investors to educate them.
Yeah, there's an announcement. I can't just, I can't stand Bernie Sanders. I can't stand this guy is an evil genius because he comes up with excuses after excuses. He doesn't mention what he's supposed to be mentioning because he says of Canada. He mentioned Canada. Canada's not a communist country. Okay? Why don't you mention, hey, Bernie, since you're so slick, why don't you mention what's happening in Cuba and Venezuela, where people are dying because there's no medication, with the machines for dialysis are not working, and people dying by the hundreds and thousands. Why don't you mention that one? People die of hunger for no reason, because Cuba used to be a great economy before this plague of communism hit Cuba. Before it was established in 1959, Cuba used to have an abundance of everything and produce things of quality, shoes, clothes, a whole bunch of other things of quality. And that went to hell. One of the best rums, which is not a Puerto Rican rum, it was established in Cuba. Bacardi had to leave Cuba. Hershey had to leave Cuba. The economy was booming in Cuba before communists took power and destroyed everything. It was them. They are the plague. It's not coronavirus. It's communism. It was the biggest plague. Look what happened in China, who exported the virus, the deadly virus. What is it? It's a communist country. Why don't you mention that one, Bernie? Since you're so slick. Who used to be a bum. You know, and all these communists are just like that. They're trying to brainwash you. Then you got people like Danny DeVito. I don't know where the hell he got his head. And you get many other actors, Sean Penn and this other guy from Lethal Weapon. I forgot this African American actor. I just always forget his name. Communists, going embracing communist people, even the spies, and living like millionaires and with mansions. And all that is destroyed under communism. You had people who embraced Fidel Castro and had to flee Fidel Castro. Why? Because they couldn't live on it. You had athletes, famous athlete, like this boxer. I think his last name was Stevens, a Cuban boxer who died in extreme misery, in extreme poverty. You should see the videos. There's a whole bunch of videos. You should see people living in houses that would be condemned here in the United States automatically. They would, as a matter of fact, they would all be condemned. They would be destroyed because it's not habitable. People living in houses that are not habitable, houses that look like a latrine. I posted the videos. I wish it was in English. I could pass it through and have the American people see the videos that I posted in Cuba, in my page, Cuba Noticias Disidentes. That's one of the blogs that I got in Spanish. These videos come out of Cubanet. And I want my American people to see it. Because I don't want my country destroyed. You know, I want the country to be the way it is, where we can celebrate Christmas without terrorists, without a terrorist organization trying to destroy it. Two of them, communism and Islam. I want the freedom for women, of women's rights. But then you got extremely dumb women supporting this. Thank God it's not the majority, because if it would have been the majority, Trump would have won. And I hope he wins again. And I hope the Democrat Party falls apart. That's all I wish every day. Pray to God for the destruction of the Democrat Party completely. They should not longer exist. They are the true enemy. They are the people who want to destroy your Constitution, your United States, the way it is, your freedoms. They are the one. Look, I'm gonna leave this for you all to, if you want to see more, like I said, go to my blog. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta put this one on. I gotta put this one on. I had to put this one. This I can't leave this one go. I can't let this one go. Let's see how long it lasts. If it lasts too long, I just put part of it so you can just laugh your brains off. Oh wow, it lasts too long, but I'm gonna put a part of it. Look at this. And unfortunately, she's Puerto Rican descendant, just like me. Look at this piece of work.
Continue to get away with doing far too little, and in this moment, there's no such thing as doing too much. I mean, honestly, have you ever had a point in your life where
you should go back to bartending?
Did too much for you, where they gave you too much? Never happened to me. I've never seen that in my life. I never had too many scholarships. You know, we never had too many people.
Just because you don't have enough brains. You don't have too many brains.
Got relief.
Narrow cells.
Puerto Rico never got too much aid. But anyways, I digress. I'm sure.
Oh my. AOC does it again. She continues to embarrass herself for all the world to see. This weekend was particularly cringeworthy, so we're going to take a look at her latest gaffes that are just par for the course for her style of grievance politics, and why it only guarantees a massive backlash. It's not only alienating her, but the whole of the Democratic Party as well. You're going to love it. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Awesome to be with you. As always, a super safe
I'm
and
gonna put
sound
this last
lockdown
one.
Monday to you
This is the
all.
last
If this
video.
is your
The rest
first time here
you
at
can
this
go see it
channel,
on my
this
blog.
videos day in life of current events and
This one is another great source, The Blaze.
friends, so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. It's been an absolute privilege to have you here on a regular basis on this channel. You're going to love interacting with this online community of concerns from all over the world. Also, for everyone, before you do anything else, make sure to click on the link below and check out the awesome video that we put together just for you, featuring our brand new Turley Talks Insiders Club. We're so thankful to those of you who've already signed up. Welcome. This is something we put together just for you. We received countless emails over the past several months of how you can get closer access to me and my work analyzing the rise of the new conservative age, and how you can be directly part of a massive group of conservatives from all over the world to network with. And your wish is our command. That's precisely what you're going to get by joining our Insiders Club. By becoming a member, you get more exclusive access to me and our journey together into this new conservative age we're embarking on. Each week you get a special deep dive video reserved solely for our Insiders members, like 45 minutes long. You get access to our private Facebook group that features concerns from all over the world. Plus, you get my monthly reading list to keep you updated on the best and most enriching information out there. You get a number of bonus videos. These are pretty cool. These are videos that teaching courses that I've done before. And you even get some awesome accessories like a Turley Talks tumbler to drink your coffee in, or whatever your beverage of choice is. So don't wait. Make sure to click on the link below and watch the video on the Turley Talks Insiders Club to get a fuller sense of what you'll be a part of. I think you're absolutely love it. It was a pleasure to put together for you, and it'll be a privilege to journey with you to this new conservative age together. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez turned some heads this past weekend after another Instagram live feed. In this instance, she's bemoaning her belief that the federal government isn't doing enough to help Americans during the coronavirus pandemic. All the while she's making a margarita. I guess supposedly, I don't know. Actually, I have no idea what she's making there. Now, this is all on top of Ocasio-Cortez calling the United States a brutal and barbarian society for the vast majority of working Americans. She blasted the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, for suspending mortgage payments during the crisis, but not rent payments. She actually said in an earlier interview that the suspension of mortgage payments, but not rent payments, was creating, if you can believe it, a class and race issue, since we're basically rewarding and offering preferential treatment to landowners and folks who are more wealthy, but not offering the same relief to renters. But again, not to be outdone by her own words, Ocasio-Cortez took to Twitter calling for, if you can believe this, yes, she called for reparations specifically for minorities, since, again, according to AOC, minorities have a higher number of coronavirus fatalities that stems from the underlying injustice and inequality that pervades American society. She claimed that COVID deaths are disproportionately spiking on Black and brown communities, and this all because of things like environmental racism, whatever that is, and the wealth gap and redlining. And so any coronavirus relief package should include reparations specifically for Black and brown communities. Now, needless to say, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez has become the poster child for conservatives. I mean, she really is the gift that just keeps on giving. She lectures us about reparations and racism and the government not doing enough from her posh Washington, D.C. apartment, all the while she sips wine or margaritas. She comes across as the quintessential privileged liberal. And it's frankly gotten embarrassing at this point. What Ocasio-Cortez and her fawning supporters in the mainstream Marxist media simply don't understand in all this is how much such rhetoric and antics dramatically backfire in at least two ways. For me, this is particularly what makes the mainstream media actually so embarrassingly complicit in all of this, because according to publications like Newsweek and others, what AOC is doing here is just great. Look at this headline, for example, from TheWeek.com. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez live streamed herself drinking wine and assembling IKEA furniture. More than 8,000 people tuned in. Isn't that great. She just hangs out, she sips wine, assembles IKEA furniture, and still she can garner 8,000 viewers. Isn't that cool? Isn't that amazing? She's the future. But again, I think this is what happens when you live in an echo chamber like the mainstream media has become. Is that really what's going on here? That this is a politician so powerful, so enigmatically attractive, that she can garner nearly 10,000 people just to watch her assemble furniture. Is that what's really going on here? Well, the answer, of course, is no. In the social media age, there's nothing impressive about garnering 8,000 viewers. I'm sorry. That may be impressive for CNN since nobody watches them anymore. It may be impressive, be incredibly impressive for Joe Biden because he can barely get 2,000 people to watch his live streams. But sorry, 8,000 viewers in the context of an internet-based network society, it's just not a big deal. Here's what is. Here's what's really going on. What we're seeing with the rise of Ocasio-Cortez and her reparations racist rhetoric is that the Democratic Party has officially become the party of what's called grievance politics. Okay, the Democratic Party has officially become the party of grievance politics. Now, we tend to think of the Democratic Party as comprised of identity politics, but given that identity politics is a big topic and can even encompass the political nationalist right, I think it's better here that we talk about grievance politics. Identity politics is bigger than the Democratic Party for reasons I'll show in a moment. Instead, we need to think of the Democratic Party more as the party of grievance politics. Opponents of grievance politics reimagine culture as a binary of antithetical power distributions between a dominant colonialist power, which they often label white and male, right, Christian, that disenfranchises politically and socially minority cultures through sexist, racist, and classist exclusions. And so grievance activists claim to be the ones who seek to overcome what they consider to be apartheid-like policies of the past by promoting public policies inclusive of the historically disenfranchised. That's at least the rhetoric that we hear particularly echoed and championed by the corporatist globalist media, as we see with the Week.com. So getting 8,000 people to tune in to watch Ocasio-Cortez embarrass herself. Now, there were two fundamental problems with grievance politics we have to get. There are two ways, at least two, in which grievance politics backfires. They end up doing more damage to the proponents of grievance politics than to the supposedly oppressive power structures that the proponents of grievance politics want to bring down and destroy. First, as we can see on these cringeworthy videos, it's become patently obvious that grievance politics are all about enriching the activist elite. As it turns out, grievance politics do little to nothing for those whom the activist elite supposedly represent. We see this most explicitly with the Southern Poverty Law Center, the SPLC, right, which is perhaps more than any other organization has turned grievance politics into an industry, very lucrative industry. Even left-wing outlets recognize that the SPLC has become a bona fide racket that makes tens of millions of dollars a year, spearing conservative organizations and causes. And so, as Thomas Sowell has pointed out years ago, grievance politics, by definition, can never be appeased. Precisely because such appeasement goes against the business model that enriches activist elites. So this is what we call limousine liberals, who run around screaming and crying racism and sexism and discrimination, ultimately in order to get a massive amount of finances reallocated into their own bank accounts. So that's what we're finding, how the Democratic Party is the party of grievance politics, and grievance politics is a major source of Democratic funding. Grievance politics is where the Democratic Party makes a lot of its money. And so pushing things like racial reparations, it's just good business, okay? The problem, of course, is when you engage in your reparations rhetoric and your discrimination, racism rhetoric, on how government isn't doing enough to relieve all the suffering and injustice out there, all the while you're pouring yourself a margarita in your posh Washington, D.C. apartment. You come across as a limousine liberal. You come across as a member of the privileged class bitching and moaning about the very society that gave you such privilege in the first place. So the optics of grievance politics are almost always disastrous, and they end up backfiring. But there's a second problem with grievance politics. The massive problem for the Democrats is that this push in grievance politics only provokes a massive backlash in identity politics. And that's why I like to make a distinction between these two kinds of politics. Grievance politics exacerbates identity politics. And this was first observed by the Vanderbilt University scholar Carol Swain, who found that the grievance politics are being pushed by the civil rights crowd was actually inadvertently awakening what she called a new kind of new white nationalism. In other words, and this is coming from a study that was published back in 2002, so she's really onto this. She noticed that whites were becoming very concerned over the asymmetrical distribution and enforcement of civil rights-based equalities, where they felt like they were being discriminated against. Okay, so in other words, if blacks get to vote their political interests, and Latinos get to vote theirs, right? Asians get to vote their political interests, and on and on and on we go, then why on earth can't whites vote on behalf of their own political interests? This is what Carol Swain, she was calling the new white nationalism. She was noticing it was not motivated so much by overt racism. In fact, all indicators show that racism is at an all-time low today. It's not overt racism that's motivating the new white nationalism, she calls it, but rather it's being provoked by what more and more whites perceive as deliberate discrimination against them simply because they happen to be white. And nothing on this planet provokes more of a sense that one is being discriminated against simply because one is white than this whole notion of reparations for minorities. And so the irony in
I'm going to leave it right here
is
because I got some other
pushing
news
the
to deal
concept
with.
of
If you want to see the rest, like I always say, go to my blog by writing down my name, Eduardo Rodriguez. I pledge allegiance to the flag. And you can see the rest of it. It takes 14 minutes. I'm just going to last that long because I got more news to go to with the Spanish speaking one. And I want to go to that one. That's very important. They freed Jose Daniel Ferrer Garcia, which I applaud and which I'm happy about and which I celebrate. But there's still, we have to fight against this other plague, which is not coronavirus. The most deadliest of them, which has proven more deadly than the virus, is communism. And we have to fight against communism. We have to fight against people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The whole Democrat Party, which has turned terrorist, is a terrorist organization. Terrorist criminal organization, because they have terrorists involved in it. People from Islamic countries, trying to run for office, and they're permitting it. So it's a criminal, it's a terrorist organization. It's no longer a political party. You got people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who promotes communism, Bernie Sanders, another pearl, who promotes communism, and you got all of them. This guy from California, de Blasio from New York, communist. And then you see them like Pelosi, another pearl, who says, "Oh, we have to defend our Constitution. Our Constitution has to be defended. We have to protect," and they're the one violating it by having people who break the law illegally coming into this country, or trying to promote abortion, the killing, murder of mass of innocent babies. These people's a criminal organization, terrorists, and they shouldn't even exist as a party. It shouldn't even be an alternative to vote for. There should be another alternative like the Tea Party. But then these people are so evil, they'll try to infiltrate the Republican Party too. They say, "Oh, well, we can't get into the Democrat Party no more because they don't exist. Nobody wants to vote for us because they know our intention. Let's infiltrate the Republican Party." But the Republican Party, controlled like people like Trump, who's a true patriot, shouldn't allow it. No, you can't be in our party because you're a terrorist. You're an undesirable a person who shouldn't be in any of our parties. They shouldn't even have the right to vote, people like that, who have terrorist minds. But then they come up, "Oh, this is a constitutional right." You have lawyers. Oh, we're going to sue you. You're violating the constitutional rights. That's the excuse that you are. We have to have lawyers and people with a mind, a brilliant mind, who are willing to stand against these evil entities and people who won't sell themselves. People like in the Republican Party, lawyers. I don't trust no lawyer. I think all of them, the majority of them are just corrupt. And there's some good ones. Laura Ingraham used to be an attorney who's now running in a news network. But, you got people that are honest and great and love their country, and are brilliant people. But, it's like there's no more. The majority of them, a lot of them, are for their pockets. They don't care. We saw this in people like Avenatti and other corrupt lawyers in the Democrat Party. You want another person who's unstable, like Geraldo Rivera. I hope I said his last name right. I know it's Geraldo. A warped, corrupt person who's unbalanced. One moment he's in favor of the truth, and then in another he's against it. This is like he's warped. So something's wrong with his brain. There's something wrong. He has a nut, an unscrewed nut that needs to be screwed back again. Well, that'll be all for today. Like I always say, Donald Trump, I always pray for you and your family. God bless you. God protect you. I always pray for you, believe it or not. And I always pray for Mike Pence now and his family, the protection of both of you and your family, and keep safe. America keeps safe. All my fellow Americans, I want you all safe. I want you all safe. Use the gloves. Use the mask. There's no reason for this to be happening. We have to change our ways by using masks from now on. That's if you want to protect yourself. You don't care about yourself. Well, and in workplaces, use the mask and gloves. If not, you're not allowed in here. In the stores, you want to buy? Okay, you got gloves? You're not going to have gloves, you can't come in here. I'm sorry, that's our policy. Go somewhere else. And if the other store's the same way, until you find one that's just stupid enough to let you in without protection. So, it's up to you. The economy can be opened back again. There's no problem. There's no reason, like I say, to have the economy staggering and closed down the way it is, because there's no reason for it. We have gloves. There are gloves available. There are masks that you can send for, good quality masks that are breathable and reusable. It's more economic than the ones that you put on and then you have to throw it away. You're going to spend more money on that on the longer run. Buy the ones that are reusable. There's real good quality ones and a good price. So I recommend them. Donald Trump, with all due respect, as my president and commander-in-chief, me, an ex-veteran who used to be in the armed forces, I think you're doing a fabulous job. But, there's no reason to stop the economy. Because if people protect themselves and there's sanitizer available to clean those gloves and the mask, and the person can shower immediately once they get home and take off their clothes, and there's a lot of steps that can be done to stop this. There's no reason why. They can even go to parties. They can even go to conventions. Just have them, force them in. You could come in here. You're welcome. You got to come in with the gloves and mask on. And if they take out their gloves or mask, they have to go. Bye. Take them out. They call security. You got to leave. Sorry. And if they want to go to work, mask and gloves. You don't want to use the mask? You can't be here. Give them three times a warning. The third time, you're fired. You can't be here no longer. Unfortunately, we got to go through that step. And like I say, people like me who are chronic asthma, I use the breathable mask. Hey, and I go everywhere. I can be anywhere. And for long periods of time, because it doesn't bother me, because I can breathe, even though I got a mask on. even though I'm a chronic asthmatic. So it can be done. A lot of things can be done. We just have to change the habits and enforce these situations, these rules that I say. We don't have to put a the Jewish Holocaust a patch on a person. Oh, that's stupid. Those are the communists that do that. The communists and the national socialists, the extreme right. Those are the people who enforce that. There have to be no concentration camp like the CPUSA now. Used to be the Democrat Party wants to force. So keep safe, like I said. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.